Hello and welcome to Your World Tonight. I'm Aisha Sindhu. On the show today, we look at Indian actor Shah Rukh Khan's film promotion stop at the Vadodara railway station that caused a stampede-like situation that led to one man's death. Before we go there, here's a look at the headlines. Chaos in India's Vadodara city as film star Shah Rukh Khan decides to promote his new movie aboard a train. One person dies of suffocation during a stampede on the platform. India's human rights watchdog steps in, seeks a report after police in Tamil Nadu is caught on tape showing police personnel setting an auto rickshaw ablaze. India and the UAE all set to strengthen ties as the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi arrives in India on a 3-day visit. Trade and anti-terror cooperation top the agenda. And India's Supreme Court weighs in on the appointment of BCCI administrators, says no one over the age of 70 will be considered to run the board. The western Indian city of Vadodara witnessed some chaotic scenes on Monday evening. This as the film star Shah Rukh Khan decided to promote his film aboard a train. A stampede-like situation followed in which one person died of a heart attack. Take a look at this report.
Where does one draw the line when it comes to a film promotion? How far is too far? In the latest stunt promoting his new release, Rais, Bollywood actor Shah Rukh Khan boarded a train from Delhi to Mumbai. The result was chaos and also death. A fan suffered a heart attack and died during the actor's stop in Vadodara. The bereaved family blames the star.
बोगी के पास पहुंचे ही थे और पुलिस ने पीछे से अपने लाठीचार्ज किया, दोनों साइड से लाठीचार्ज किया पब्लिक के ऊपर और पब्लिक दोनों साइड से दौड़ने पे लगी और उस दरमियान में दोनों साइड से ऐसे दौड़ी ने पब्लिक, उसके अंदर ये सैंडविच की तरह हो गए और नीचे गिर गए वो और उसके ऊपर से फिर पब्लिक दौड़ के गई है और पुलिस को बोला तो पुलिस ने ध्यान नहीं दिया, पुलिस ऊपर से हम लोग को हटा रही थी। पुलिस ने अगर सपोर्ट किया होता, उसी टाइम ध्यान दिया होता हमारी बात पे और वो इंसान को देखा होता तो उठा लिया होता तो ये हादसा नहीं होता।
Shah Rukh Khan was quick to apologize.
One of our colleagues, WION, she was traveling with us and I think uncle came down to see her at Baroda and then he suffered from a cardiac arrest. It saddens us all. So on behalf of everyone, our blessings and our prayers with the whole family.
But an apology may not be enough. The Railways Minister has already ordered an inquiry into the matter.
पहला तो कि बंदोबस्त मांगा गया कि नहीं, मांगा गया तो कितना मांगा गया, अगर नहीं मांगा गया तो क्यों नहीं मांगा गया, क्या जो हमने बंदोबस्त दिया वो पर्याप्त था, ऑर्गेनाइजर्स की तरफ से क्या क्या स्टेप लिए गए कि जिससे ऐसा कोई दबाव या ऐसा कोई घटना ना बने, देन हम उस पर कोई ना कोई जरूर एक्शन लेंगे.
The incident has raised important questions about where the line must be drawn when it comes to film promotion. Bureau Report, WION.
All right, to talk more about that story, we are joined by Shailendra Singh, the Managing Director of Percept, over the phone line for more. Thanks so much for speaking with us, Shailendra. Do you feel that the envelope was pushed too far in the attempt to promote the movie?
Well, I don't think so, to be honest, because I think, there are a lot of things that happen to promote a movie and these events take place in public environments, whether it's about artists going to universities and there are 30,000, 50,000 kids there. I mean, there are a lot of things done to promote the film and also promote events. But the big question is that did the authorities know about it? Was the right permissions taken? Because at the end of the day, when a superstar like this travels like a commoner, I mean, it's not a reality in India. I mean, it's going to be chaotic. So either the organizers of this train trip or the authorities, somebody had to know of the consequences of getting Shah Rukh Khan to be in a normal Was he traveling as a passenger or was it an organized event? I think there's way too many questions that need to be answered.
Right. On an ordinary day in India, the railway stations and even local train stations witness huge crowds. Mumbai especially sees massive crowds descending on platforms. Keeping all that in mind, do you feel then that this was a failure on the part of administration or the promoters in not gauging the situation correctly?
Well, I think it's both sides, to be honest, because if Shah Rukh Khan, certainly at the end of the day, Shah Rukh Khan is also a normal citizen. If he decides to take a train trip to any part of the country, at the end of the day, the authorities will have to ensure that something special is done because he is a celebrity and he is going to attract attention. So, I mean, these are simple common sense issues, but I think we are constantly as a nation in a reactive mode. Nobody acts, everybody reacts. And I think as a nation, we need to now understand the consequences, and the consequences can be really bad. So I don't know who the blame should be rested on, but the fact of the matter is that this happens on a daily basis. But something bad has happened today, so you're reporting about it and we're having a chat now.
Right. Shailinder, when it comes to celebrity, not just in India, this is a situation across the world. There's a very thin line really between, personal rights and your freedom as an individual within the country. And then, of course, as a celebrity up for public consumption. Keeping all those factors in mind, now Shah Rukh Khan, whether he was traveling as an individual on a personal visit or not, this was advertised on social media. People were informed of the fact that he's going to be making these stops along the promotional tour. Does that, warrant then some more prudence on the part of promoters to make sure that in addition to putting out social media tweets and updates on Facebook, that the authorities need to be kept in the loop? You're right, this is a huge celebrity, but keeping that in mind, a lot more factors need to be considered.
Well, a star of his caliber, it should be presumed by you and me, both included, that the authorities and the promoters had to plan this together. How else do you expect a person of the caliber of Shah Rukh or Salman or Amin to board a train like a normal passenger and go? I mean, they should have cordoned off the compartments. They should have ensured security arrangements. These are basic necessities, not luxuries. I mean, a person lost his life, which is really, really sad. But this could have gotten worse, to be honest. So I think even Shah Rukh realizes that. So I guess somebody's going to be pulled up for this, but at the end of the day, I think both sides need to ensure that certain rules and permissions are sought for an event of this nature.
So this isn't going to be the last stop on that promotional train ride. This was just Vadodara. The journeys from Mumbai all the way to Delhi. How do you think that the situation should unfold ideally, keeping what's happened in Vadodara in mind going forward?
Well, this is not the first train promotion that has happened in Bollywood. Just for your knowledge, there are a lot of promotions that have taken place from Bombay to Shirdi and Bombay to Delhi and other places. But I think the magnitude and the hype of having a Shah Rukh Khan travel like a normal passenger, and like you said, that was all advertised on social media, I think care has to be taken, and care has to be taken on both sides. It is Shah Rukh and his promoters and marketing agents, and as well as the authorities. I mean, if the authorities are aware, let's presume that the promoters made a mistake. But I think the social media is also tracked by the authorities. So they knew that Shah Rukh Khan is traveling like a normal passenger on a train and he's going to travel all the way to Delhi. So therefore, you will have to ensure that you create a protection ring around each station. And this is what you normally would do if a high-level dignitary is traveling from another country to our country. These are just basic norms that you would follow. So I think it's both sides of the coin that need to take care of such situations.
All right, so blame can't be placed on any one party. Both had to collaborate as far as this promotional tour goes. I'm going to leave it at that. But Shailinder Singh, thanks so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts on the story that really has captured India's imagination and unfortunately has led to the death of one ardent fan who made his way onto that platform, which, as you can see, was crowded beyond belief. Over to another big story. India's National Human Rights Commission has taken suo motu cognizance of media reports of police in Chennai carrying out excesses on pro-Jallikattu protesters. It has taken a serious view of what it called the unprovoked action taken by police personnel in Chennai's Marina Beach area in order to disperse protesters gathered there. Notices have been issued to the state's Chief Secretary, Director General of Police, the Tamil Nadu government and Chennai's Police Commissioner, asking for reports on the matter to be submitted within 2 weeks. This comes after a video showing police setting an auto ablaze in Chennai went viral on social media. In fact, the video has been shared by several well-known personalities, including the actor Kamal Hassan. The Jallikattu protests turned violent on Monday when protesters began demanding a permanent solution and not an interim stay on the ban.
Wait, record like these are not proof.
I'm equally shocked. I hope some kind of a reasonable explanation is given to us, which will sort of calm us down, because this will really scare a common man. I mean, anytime he could become the victim of arson or the arsonist himself.
In fact, my colleague and WION's correspondent, Nishtita Virender, joins us right now. She has been tracking all the updates on Jallikattu from the ground. Nishtita, just to give us an idea of what the ground situation is like right now, we've heard that there is security deployment still happening in parts of the state, but has relative peace returned to the areas that you've been visiting?
Well, as far as Chennai is concerned, there seems to be a lot of anger that is prevailing on the streets of Chennai, as we have seen several reports going on to state that even eyewitnesses going on to state that several police personnel who were dressed in khaki were seen attacking roadside vendors, were seen attacking other protesters. They were mercilessly beaten up. Reports even suggested that one of the fishermen community areas was burnt down. The fisherman market was completely reduced to ashes. So keeping all these reports in mind, several questions today were raised against Police Commissioner S. George, and he went on to defend the police, saying that no such action had been taken. The police had only in a peaceful manner tried to vacate these protesters who had been gathering at the Marina Beach for 7 straight days. And it was the protesters who started pelting stones and started resorting to violence, and that is when the police had no action, had no other go in response, and had to bait and charge these protesters to forcefully evict them from the Marina Beach. And now we understand that the National Human Rights Commission has taken suo motu cognizance of the case and has sent out notice to the General Secretary, to the Chief Secretary, I beg your pardon, as well as the DIG of Tamil Nadu and also Police Commissioner S. George, seeking a response on all the reports indicating, including the pictures and videos during rounds on social media, indicating that the police had inflicted atrocious behavior on these protesters. But on the other hand, the police commissioner has completely refuted all these allegations, saying that the video and the pictures are doctored and has been sent to the cybercrime for investigations.
Okay, Nishtita, thanks for that update. Stay with us. We also have R.K. Radhakrishnan, Associate Editor of Frontline, joining us right now from Chennai. Let's go to him now. Mr. Radhakrishnan, what do you make of the police's response, saying that they had no choice but to use force to disperse those protesters?
It's absolutely impossible to take the police statement at face value, because we have seen that the instigation was on the part of the police when they tried to remove the protesters. The question that I have been raising from yesterday on your channel was that why didn't the police wait another 12 hours? Because the bill was passed unanimously by the Assembly at 5 p.m. yesterday. So why didn't the police wait till then and tell the protesting students and youth that the bill has already been passed and you have no locus standi, no reason to remain here? That remains a mystery. The police commissioner, Mr. George's explanation that anti-social elements and anti-national elements were getting into the crowd does not hold any water, because if that was the case, there could have been trouble much earlier. That was not the case at all. There was no trouble for the 6 days that the students had gathered on the marina. The police commissioner's explanation holds no water, and the blatant rejection of all the video evidence by saying that these had to be forensically examined cannot also be accepted, because it is very, very clear that police are setting fire to cottages, to auto rickshaws, to destroying public property. And, he has to take some action. Instead of that, he's saying that he will check the veracity of the footage. That is not the way to go. He has to take some action. We have to see some action.
Mr. Radhakrishnan, what is your gut feeling then? What do you attribute that delay in police action to?
See, I believe that the orders came from the top. The police obviously do not act on their own. They go by the executive orders that they receive. So it was possibly not the police commissioner, it was possibly not the Director General of Police who took a call on removing the agitators. It should be the Chief Minister of the state, who is also in charge of the Home Department. So it is he who should take responsibility. He probably went by the advice of his inner circle, the Chief Secretary, possibly the advisor to the Chief Minister and his small circle of officials. Now, this is where the problem comes in. If that is the case, I do not understand why a politician took that decision and antagonize the entire state of Tamil Nadu by doing this.
Absolutely.
In one way, it is easy to explain because Mr. O. Pannirselvam is not the popularly elected person. He came in because of Ms. Jayalalitha's demise, and he owes nothing to the people of Tamil Nadu. That's one way of looking at it, but it still remains a mystery why the action on the morning of the day that they were going to pass a bill on Jallikattu, and it was so easy to explain to the students, agitating students who would have had no locus standi by the evening.
Right. I'm going to segue off of what you just mentioned on O. Pannirselvam. This is a bit off topic, but keeping in mind what you just mentioned, the fact that he was brought in as an interim chief minister, this is taking place in his state right now. How much of a fillip is this going to be for Sasikala?
See, it's very, very clear that O. Pannirselvam does not need to care for the sentiments of the masses, but that it is not the same case with the person who leads the party at this point of time because of Jayalalitha's demise, Sasikala. It makes her case to become minister much harder, much more difficult because of the fiasco in handling this case. The protesting students, and across Tamil Nadu, barring Tiruchi, where one cop seems to have taken the lead to give a kind of fiery speech and tell the students that I am with you, but unfortunately we have to wind up this struggle because an ordinance has been passed, a bill is being passed today, and that possibly was the way to go. And unfortunately, it's not been picked up. All that we see now is an attempt to pin the blame on O. Pannirselvam.
Sure.
And I think it seems to have some kind of sinister motive to make O. Pannirselvam responsible for this whole problem and possibly ask him to demit office, in which case Sasikala can become chief minister. But
right.
It is the people of Tamil Nadu do not want that choice. It is very clear. They have spoken very clearly.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Radhakrishnan, for weighing in on that story for us. I'm also joined by social activist K. Abdul Ghani. He joins us from Chennai. Abdul, thanks for speaking with us here on WION. The NHRC has taken cognizance of police excesses. The body stepping in at the right time, in your opinion?
See, like yesterday, I don't think so. The police should have, evacuate people in the morning. Because see, when there is an amendment of TCA which is going to happen in the evening, which government has planned already, and of course the police department would have come to know, that would have been communicated. And what is the need of see, everybody, not just in India, across the world, everybody was appreciating the historical protest which was done by youngsters without any mess up.
Right.
And nothing, the entire garbage, entire thing was being taken care in such a professional way. And what is the need? Because the police and the protester were so friendly.
Right.
And all of a sudden in the morning, and initially they tried to evacuate without any lucky charge.
So, Abdul, what do you attribute, that change in, the sentiment to? Like you're pointing out, this started off as a peaceful protest. It carried on for 7 days, but suddenly things did seem to turn awry. Why do you think that happened?
That's what, people say it is because of, there was wrong slogans, and the entire protest was turning out to be a different game altogether, and there were political people involved into the protest, and the entire protest from Jallikattu, and later segment, it turns out to take up various other issues. So that might be a reason for police to step in and get into all this kind of things.
Right. All right, Mr. Abdul Ghani joining us there from Chennai. Thanks for giving us your perspective on that story. I'm going to go back to my colleague Nishchita Virendra, who is in Tamil Nadu as we speak. Nishchita, a number of voices weighing in, some saying that there is more than meets the eye over here, that this could be politically motivated as well. What are you picking up on the larger implications of this story?
Well, multiple arguments really being presented, Aisha, as far as the police excesses are concerned in connection to the Jallikattu incident. On the other hand, the police, apart from stating that the video as well as the photographic evidence that are circulating on social media are entirely doctored and need to be examined by forensic experts from the cybercrime branch, the police has also gone on to state on record that they have reasons to believe that there were anti-social elements involved in this peaceful protest that lasted for close to 6 days, and that is the reason why a largely peaceful protest turned violent on day 7, which is the 23rd of January. Whether it is Alanganallur in Madurai or for that matter at the Marina Beach in Chennai, the police went on to state that they have also made arrests but have not disclosed how many arrests have been made, and they feel Naxal elements are playing a role in played a role in making this entire agitation more violent than it was meant to be, and that is the reason why they were forced to take action. Another interesting point that I'd like to mention here is that one of the police officials went off record, went on to state that the police force in Tamil Nadu has been under intense pressure ever since J. Jayalalitha's demise. It was a massive event when their chief minister passed away, and then you had the cyclone Varada, and then you had the Jallikattu controversy happening back to back, and the police forces have been working overtime without any break, and probably that could have led to many of the police officials on ground reacting more aggressively than they should have. But of course, this police official refused to go on record with his statement.
Sure, Nishchita. So clearly multiple factors at play over here. We're not really certain of exactly where to place not blame but really responsibility of what's going on in Tamil Nadu. But thanks so much for joining us here on the broadcast with the details and for tracking that story for us. Okay, let's move on. Unaccounted money from unknown sources continue to have a free run in the Indian elections. The data provided by the ADR proves that 70% of the money given to political parties comes from unaccounted sources. Kartikeya Sharma with this report.
Shocking but true. Indian political parties pay lip service to the idea of clean elections. Reports suggest that 70% of the money received by political parties come from unaccounted sources. A legal loophole exploited by political parties says donations of 20,000 rupees and below need not be declared. Just look at the data. In past 10 years, political parties in India received 11,367 crore rupees, of which 3,533 crore came from known sources and rest from unknown. The BSP has always claimed that it doesn't receive anything more than 20,000 rupees, but its war chest swelled from 5.19 crore to 111.9 crore, a jump of 2,057%. The Association for Democratic Reform, ADR, says that this is only the tip of the iceberg.
2004 से लेके आज तक मतलब 10 साल का हमने एनालिसिस किया है और नेशनल और रीजनल पार्टीज दोनों को मिला के जो उन्होंने लिखित में इनकम टैक्स और इलेक्शन कमीशन को सौंपा है उसके अनुसार 11,300 लगभग 11,300 करोड़ों का उनको इनकम मिला है.
Regional parties also don't do so well. Some of them have never submitted returns and some default. The data shows that the richest regional party is the Samajwadi Party, which received more than 800 crores in 10 years.
कांग्रेस की 83% of their income is from unknown sources. 65% of the BJP income is from unknown sources. And for Samajwadi Party, 94% of their income is from unknown sources. And for Shiromani Akali Dal, 86% of their income is from unknown sources.
Despite public outcry, political parties have refused to come under RTI. They have also refused to evolve a consensus in Parliament to go forward with the agenda of electoral reforms. Prime Minister Modi has shown his commitment to pursue the issue of black money as one of the most important policy for his tenure. UP also made similar commitment, but nothing came much out of it. It's time that Prime Minister takes bull by the horn because he has got the mandate and time by his side. Kartikeya Sharma for WION.
In fact, WION's chief domestic correspondent Kartikeya Sharma is on the phone line with us right now. Kartikeya, 65% of the BJP's income is from unknown sources. How does this fit into the larger picture of Prime Minister Modi's drive against unaccounted money?
Well, it's very, very embarrassing. 65% for the Bharatiya Janata Party, 83% for the Congress Party. And the fact of the matter is that parties like BJD and NCP in a couple of years did not submit their declarations. And I think the best part is reserved for the BSP, which has seen a jump of 2,057%. And none of the donations for the BSP exceeds more than 20,000 rupees, which means they never have to declare anything to the income tax authorities and election commission. So I think these are the dichotomies and the loopholes which we are dealing with. And it clearly goes on to show that the black money in Indian economy primarily rotates around the elections. And this is about the national coffers. Imagine what gets into when there are panchayat elections.
Very quickly, Kartikeya, then what are the implications of this information, keeping the state elections in mind?
See, there is no implication, Aisha. I think the bottom line is that you have to decide how the election should be fought. One is the state funding of the elections, but my personal opinion is that it's a bad idea. Why should state fund elections? Second is audit and scrutiny. That is more important. Anything below 5,000 rupees, anything above 5,000 rupees should be declared to the public and it should be audited. Right. So everyone will know where the money has come from.
All right, Kartikeya Sharma there bringing us that report and of course his thoughts on that story. That's it for us. From us right now, you can follow all of our stories on the digital, mobile and social media platforms. Thanks so much for joining us here on Your World Tonight.